Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast, number 134. My name's Coach Brad, and I'm here with the core team. Your host tonight, as always, our fantastic leader, Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks for the introduction, Coach Brad. And folks, welcome back to another edition of the ARK Nightly Podcast. And what a wonderful day here. More growth. And we're also really close again, 366.41 ARK. I mean, we had a smash through the night before last, 401.95 ARK. An amazing all-time high. And a street value so far tonight, again, folks, $2,092.20. Street value of ARK that gets deposited. And we just broke through. We set another record here on the ARK. Over $100,000 has been paid out in ARK, deposited directly into the 85 Spark winners. Tonight, we're here. We're going to find the 86th lucky winner. They're going straight into that nitro mode, that huge boost. Sheesh. Does it make a difference, folks? A massive difference. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look around the room, ask a friend, somebody standing next to you, how has it been? Ask Mistletoe. He's won twice. Ask Mr. Gatorman. He's also won twice. Sheesh. I mean, these guys are drinking something special in their water, man, because what an honor, right? Not only to win, but to win twice. And we've had two people win 3 times. Amazing. Amazing what happens here. With that, let's go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Brett Norden. Talk to us about some updates. What's happening here on the ARK?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, good to see some familiar faces in the house. We had another busy day today, of course. Just moving along on things. More updates to all of the marketing pieces that we've been talking about. The mobile web app and the landing page funnel and the presentation for our Zoom sales funnel, all those things just keep moving along, which is great to see. We've been just going back and forth, design team, our front-end UI UX designers, and ironing out any kind of final pieces. Scripto King was sick for a few days, so we lost a little bit of time, but it's not going to impact our schedule for delivery, so we're still really confident at our end of month. Other than that, not a whole lot other things going on. Do we want to talk about other updates, Atlas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely. Man,
yeah,
we full on. We had a great meeting today as well. I don't know if you want to talk about that great meeting. I don't know if we want to talk about the great meeting we had today as well.
Morning. Geez, you know what? I mean, I thought that was yesterday. It was. I had to get up at 4:30 a.m. this morning. We had a really good meeting. Some of the things we're working on, we are going to be making some updates to the bulk contract that we're going to announce later this week. What those are. We had some scripts that we're running this week to basically people were getting an additional percentage on their ROI. When they got to a negative NDV, it was basically cycling back and forth between 1% and 2% on the daily ROI. So it was a benefit to those people. They were getting an average of, say, 1.5%. We tried to run a script that was supposed to help with that, but it was just not reliable enough. And so we're going to make an update to the vault contract to make sure that that's coded in properly and works 100% and is very reliable. We're also going to take advantage of that to make some other updates and upgrades, just little things. But the biggest one is we're going to prepare to be able to make a switch if we ever have to another chain and have the contract so that basically a backup layer one could be implemented in a quick manner if needed. Just with all of the, I would say, market risk and counterparty risk that's out there right now, we want to make sure that we're in a position to pivot if we need to. So we're going to make some adjustments to the contract and move a lot of the variables into a variable contract, which will allow us to disconnect the contracts and move them very fast if we need to. So just some, backup plan and planning for risk mitigation is in the works. Along those lines too, we're also looking at different stablecoin options, I would say, looking at real world assets as a potential stable backed currency versus a fiat backed or a USD backed stablecoin. Yes, we've had some.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much you want to give away on that, but we did have a meeting this morning with a potential partner to do just that. We're looking at precious metals for our stablecoin. We know that fiat is a dangerous place to be. Potentially stablecoins down the road could be a dangerous place to be. And I think everybody knows that we have a very long-term vision for this project. And so part of that vault upgrade with the ability to switch chains if needed, we're also looking into the ability to switch stablecoins if needed and go to a precious metal backed pair coin for our Arkfi token. So it would entail a lot of different things and components. Yes, but I think if you look at the grand scheme of things and the way that the regulations are moving and sort of the plots that are being communicated now and the narratives that are playing out, fiat is probably not a place to be. If the de-dollarization continues at the pace it's already started, and we see these, the division of nations, BRICS basically versus the West, and what's happening with the dollar and the potential long-term ways that could play out. And if the dollar is no longer that reserve currency or loses its status along the way, we don't want to be attached to that or put that as a stable coin at the end of the day. So yeah, we're looking at all these things, and this upgrade to the vault will take into account if we do need to switch, or if we plan to switch, we'll be able to do it in a much easier way. So yeah, kind of killing a couple different things with one stone.
Brett, are you saying that in the system, what we're working on here is the ability, instead of being paid out in BUSD, we could have physical gold or silver, grams, ounces, and kilos delivered investors here at the ARK? Is that what you're saying?
That's what you just said. I didn't know if you wanted to say it.
Well, there wants some alpha, man. Yeah. I know Max Power and Bizy Dips are taking notes, and we want to have a plan B, a plan C, and a D. You're going to have contingency plans. You'd have to have your head in the sand, right, to not see what's happening, not only in the crypto side of things, but also in the banking and how it all correlates and ties it. Some of these banks that are having issues are the fiat on and off for crypto and the exchanges. So it is our understanding on the multi-year strategy. We didn't sign up for 6 months, a year to this project. We have a long-term vision, and the capabilities are there. It's just a matter of putting in the work and tying things together, and being able to have that reliable, robust opportunity that gives folks the option. Let me cash out at BUSD, USDT. There's, depending on flavor, right? Because I think we're going to see some changes. We're going to see some more pressure happening in crypto as well as fiat. It is a difficult world. So the more options you have, and the more we can steer away from where the heat might be pressed in, maybe USDC starts, getting a Wells Fargo in a week or two or in a month. We want to protect our investors. We want to protect the integrity of what we're doing here on that long-term basis. That is really important. So we've been working on this for some time. We've keep our our cards close to the chest. We also have our amazing utilities that are, some of them already live, and we're building out the referral system for them. And that part of our great growth, the sonic boom is going to happen with our mobile application, our PWA, but having the systems, the onboarding and offboarding, bringing anonymity too, as a lot of folks are understanding as well that, and I can tell you that there's a lot of fear from people connecting to centralized exchanges. There's tax authorities that are banging down on doors and taking ledgers and asking questions later. And some of these jurisdictions, it can take 4 or 5 years to get your crypto back. Even if you're just a normal average Joe, or a crypto enthusiast or investor. So we also have to think in that manner of protecting our investors wherever they might reside, whatever jurisdiction, giving them options and tools for their safety, for their protection, and let them manage their crypto in ways and access to cryptos in ways. Ultimo is a great partner here because they're providing that service. It's not completely anonymous. There is KYC, but it is off of and away from BIS reporting. So we want to expand on that and provide that safety, that bridge. And if that means, merging over, we don't want to be caught like a deer in the headlights. Hey, there's a problem on Binance, there's a problem here. We're not in panic. And that's when folks, you have to build. You don't wait for the storm. You prepare for the storm and you prepare for the worst. And you have your containers, you have your contingency plans. Another great part we didn't touch on, Brett, is bringing those packages into the vault system. And if we could touch a little bit on those packages, which is a great update that's going to be very key in onboarding the average Joes and Janes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I missed that. Thank you for bringing that up. We're also configuring for being able to make a purchase in a single lump sum, basically, and then we delegate those funds to different areas of the protocol. So I'll just give a kind of the high-end package example. Let's say that you have someone who's a team builder and they know they're going to get a legacy NFT and they're going to make an investment in the vault and also the foundation. We would take, let's say it's a $2,500 investment, which would be on the high end, and we make the purchase for the legacy NFT. We make the purchase for the vault. We also put some into the foundation, and then we leave B&B Gas for the auto allocation. We get their account basically, pre-configured, set up, they're running. They just do a buy now button from our landing page and our kind of our sales funnel, and then we allocate those funds to the different areas of the protocol. So it's sort of a buy now strategy, and it's a package strategy, and along with that, they're basically just spending a lump sum and they're, immediately in the game. So it's a very nice, I would say, automation feature, and it takes a lot of the guesswork out of, oh, hey, where do I put my money? What am I doing? And these are going to be for people that are in through, these mass market channels. We've talked about network marketers, MLM. They have teams and just want to get going and so that they can hand out their codes and just run. So for prep for as well, so good point to bring that up. So
you're going into the matrix, Brett. You're going a bit into the matrix. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, am I? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, it's getting better. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi down
Sorry
in
again.
Mexico. No bueno.
It's fine, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is another piece. Yeah, we've talked about some things, and there's other little things that we could have had, or things like in the CWR calculation when you set your allocations. Right now we don't include demo points, for example, so you couldn't do 66.66% compound. It doesn't work that way, and so we can add those hundredths of a decimal point into the CWR calculation just to make it a lot more accurate. So there's little tiny things that we're gonna be upgrading in addition, but those are the really big pieces. Getting it set for packages, reconfiguring the contract with the variables so that we can detach if we need to from BSC and move to another chain. And then also get prepared for a different stable coin if that's something that we want to move towards. So yeah, those are kind of the big pieces.
Let's go. Thank you for those updates, Mr. Brett.
Yeah, I just wanted to make another comment. If you can hear me okay. Along the lines, sure. The big thing that we've been looking at is, we don't want to, you said the deer in the headlights, and that's a great way to explain it. We don't want to be reactive. Jumping out of one frying pan into another is another description that I use. Okay, let's say something happens with BUSD, which we know ultimately it will. So we have sort of a timeline set already for either waiting on Binance to bring us another stable coin or us making a move to another stable coin. And so, moving to another stable coin, let's say it's USDC. Well, now what if there's regulatory pressure on that coin? What if something happens with Circle and there's some other issues there? Now we're jumping again, and we're doing this from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And I think that's it's a terrible thing to be. And I know that the central banks are configuring with XBDC. That's 100% clear. There's no question about that. There's going to be some of commodities backing these basket of commodities. Depending.
You're in the matrix again, buddy.
Yeah. Some people came to the. Some people came home and I on Wi-Fi. So I'll do if.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. We can bring you on a little bit later, but yeah, we got the gist of it, and couldn't agree more. Not reactive, not the deer in the headlights, and we've been doing a lot of work on that. I mean, we're also working on our layer one, but guys, we have to test that endlessly. Z could tell you about how that works. I mean, you're looking at Solana. I think no less than 2 weeks ago being offline for 24 hours. These are things that you cannot rush. You have to take the time. These tests are important. Having thousands of folks, airdropped, tokens and go through the whole system, stress test it, because you're looking at potentially hundreds of millions of dollars, on the blockchain, and you can't run into that type of situation where there's an issue that wasn't found. And this is not about auditing. This is not just about, making sure it can't be hacked. It's more about the redundancy and your validators. And, as we progress into that, I can assure you we'll have months and months. We're probably looking about, honestly, a year to a year and a half away. So we can't sit here, with hopium and expecting for things to just resolve themselves and ignore the writing on the wall, and understanding that there is pressure happening in crypto, and understanding also, we don't want to fear monger, folks. It's understanding the opportunity. Look at the rally happening in Bitcoin today. I mean, yeah, shout out to Bitcoin Satoshi. Let's go. People are looking for options. They're understanding that their fiat is cannibalizing, and all these patches and all these bailouts, there is no getting away from understanding that the devaluation is a fact. You have to pay the Pied Piper at some point, sooner or later. In our opinion, the real economy died 2007, 2008. This is, just keeping the hot air balloon floating until you run out of the hot air. And we're seeing it happen. Is it an overnight thing? Well, for some countries it is, like in Lebanon, where they took their local currency and devalued it by 90%. Just, February 1st, not too long ago. 100% inflation in Argentina. And a lot of folks say, hey, that can't happen in America. My friends, we're looking at a debt ceiling. We're looking at a bankrupt system that has the ability to print until it just explodes. So looking at those real assets and understanding the opportunity, the mobile app, and even shifting into this partnership and having this opportunity is going to really, I think, set a tone here of long-term sustainability, which is the whole point of the ARK. With that, we're going to go ahead. I know we've gone a little bit long with these alpha updates. We're going to turn it over to Coach Brad for the All Aboard. We're going to have also our DeFi sessions, and then we're going to close the recording off and do our Q&A session as we like to do. We've got a couple of other little updates that we'll share with you during the closing. And, of course, looking forward to having Brandon and the good Dr. Fauci here with us tomorrow after our AMA. After our podcast, we'll have an AMA with them. So, Coach Brad, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Atlas and Brett. Some great alpha there. We don't mind running over when it's when we're hearing that sort of stuff. So fantastic. Moving into the All Aboard session, just want to remind everyone about the sweep widget. It has actually ended for today. It ended 2 minutes ago. Seen some good participation with that since we changed the parameters to having to have a Vault account. So that's really, really great to see. We do ask everybody to interact with it on a daily basis. Just work it into your daily routine somewhere. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. You just log in with your email address, follow all of the tasks on the list. They're really, really easy. You just tap on one. It might be like this YouTube video. The task will take you directly to the piece of content. You drop the like, enter your name, and move on. You get entered on a daily basis. What could be easier? And it's between 50 to 100 BUSD worth of ARK directly airdropped to your Vault account at the end of the month. Not as rewarding as the Spark, but it builds up over time, especially if you're lucky enough to win it more than once. We've got a couple of community members that have won it, a few times each, one that's won it 4 times. And that's just because he participated from day one and, is always giving himself that opportunity. So everybody is eligible as long as you have an active Vault account and you complete all 10 of the all of the tasks on the list each day. So, we do ask people to interact with that, please. Excuse me. So for today, for the segment... Oh, Donatello, you are here, sir. I didn't hear back from you, so I weren't sure if you could make it. Do you want to present this video yourself, sir?
I can. I got it. Is it? Which one are you talking about? The hedge one?
Yes, sir. It's so Donatello dropped a video today, and it's just everything that we talk about. We hear Atlas say this on a regular basis. Everything Donatello does is just fantastic, in my opinion. He makes daily videos on ARK, shorts on YouTube. He's the hardest working content creator here on the ARK, without a shadow of a doubt. Not to say that we don't have round of applause for that man. Not to say that we don't have plenty of people putting the work in and the time, the effort, but Donatello just really goes above and beyond and flies that flag as high as he can raise it, and it's great to see. So I'd like to have him on at least once a week because he deserves to be in the spotlight for all of the hard work that he's putting in. But yes, Donatello, the hedge video is the one that I was going to show today. It's just a great video. So I was going to present it for you, but you're better at presenting your stuff yourself, sir. So if you are able to, then take it away.
Yeah. Is it up? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this video, I just figured, it'd be a great time to present something like this and just try to push people to the ARK, because and I share about diversifying too. I think that's very important. And there's a lot of people that don't do that very well. So I just wanted to share them different aspects and kind of give my own outlook. But yeah, let me get it going now. Check us out. Very special profile. Based on where your status is. Arkfi. Welcome back to the channel. This is Donatello from the Cave. How's it going with you? It's been a crazy week. Well, I would say weekend. And it's been crazy for a lot of people. For me, honestly, it's been really good. I haven't really felt no effects, but I know there's a lot of people that have felt the effects of the banking system and all the things that's going on. I know there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of doubt. And I know that it's a lot going on. But if you're in the ARK, you're okay. If you're in ARK and you're invested well, you're okay. But for the quote for today is going to go along with a lot of stuff that I'm going to be talking about. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to get into ARK. And we're just going to talk about why ARK is the safe haven right now. Why it could be the safe haven for you. Why is it the safe haven for me right now? Not only regarding the traditional markets, but even the crypto markets or the crypto dApps or the crypto investments. ARK is the place to be. But let's get into this quote real quick, and then let's come back and talk about the quote, and then let's get into some ARK. So the quote for today is, wealth is not about having a lot of money. It's about having a lot of options. So that quote goes with a lot of that I'm going to be talking about today, and a lot regarding what's been going on in the markets with the banks, with all the, even in the bear market and all that stuff. So it's not about the money. It's about the options. And when I say options, meaning diversifying very well. So you have these banking issues that's going on. If you got a lot of funds, why would you want to put all your money into one bank? Why would you want to do that? And a lot of people do that. You kind of build the trust with one bank and you stick with that one bank, but you can diversify your banks. So that gives you more protection. And for me, how I look at it is, why keep all your money in the bank anyways when you have DeFi? Why? There's a lot of on and off ramps that you're able to use to transfer your money back and forth. There's so many there's so many investment options, and I think even if you're not very wealthy and you have funds and all your funds in just one bank and you're not invested in nothing, invest your money. Allow your money to work for you. And I believe ARK is one of them places. It's to me, ARK is like the new age banking. That's how I look at ARK, the new age banking. And there's a few other protocols that would be considered that too. But I like to talk about ARK because ARK is one of the best of all dApps out there. And I see it as being the ultimate best safe haven at the current moment for you and for me. But diversify well. Of course, do your research. Make sure you're diversifying in the right options. Make sure you know what you're getting involved in. Don't just go into any investment or even a bank blindsided, knowing what you're getting your money into. And that's another thing. You know, when you put your money in banks, you put your money in the bank expecting to get that money back in return. But in reality, it's an IOU. So meaning it's when you put your money in the bank pretty much owns your money. And you're trusting when you go back to that bank to withdraw, they're going to give you that money. But the problem with the issues that they talk about, the bank runs, if everybody decides to go in the bank and withdraw at the same time, then the bank does not have enough cash to pay out everybody. They don't. They don't keep all that cash on hand. But the good thing about DeFi is it gives you more options. It gives you a different option. And it also allows you to bank with different banks and transfer between different banks, or even just pay with your crypto. I think in the years to come, I think DeFi is going to be the place for people. And having allocation in DeFi is a great option for you. And having an allocation in ARK is a great option too, which is what we're going to talk about now. So ARK is the ultimate safe haven, in my opinion. With the way they developed this is built to withstand bear markets. Is built for that. The way they build it, and I think it's going to be the place where a lot of people are eventually going to start running to. So having an allocation in ARK is a great place to be. It's the ultimate safe haven for all of us, for the bank and the unbanked. And with all this banking issues going on right now, I think it makes sense to be in DeFi and have an allocation in ARK also. And ARK, ARK pays 2% a day. And having that initial investment in ARK, you're going to get paid 2% a day. And the reason why the 2% is so that you can ROI very quick. So you get your initial back once you invest, and then all of it is house money. And it's been compounded from compound interest. And for the ones that know about compound interest, it is a beauty to have. And what that means, if you don't know, is that you earn a percentage, which is 2% in ARK. That percentage is earned every day, and you can compound that into your principal. So your initial investment that was invested, it grows every day, and that allows your daily return to grow also, which I want to show you something about ARK. I'm going to show you some other things that they have. They do have something called a Spark Reward that you have the ability to win that every day. And right now they've been giving away over $2,000 worth of ARK every day. And you can be eligible for that. I have videos on that, not going into details about that. But ARK is the place to be. I'm telling you, it's the place to be. And I'm going to show you the evidence of it. And then we'll get back in this video and we'll talk a little bit more before we end. So this is the homepage of Arkfi. And you can see right here, let me hit these toggles. You can see right here, there is marching on the $100,000 BS to be paid out. It's at $99,000, and $2,000 per day is being paid out. Look at these numbers. And ARK value is crazy. ARK is at 572. The vault accounts are growing like crazy. Look how much ARK that's in the, and I know if you understand, you understand. You may not understand that, so I'm not going to really go into the details of that, especially if you're new. But all you need to know is they're paying out this every day, this right here, and you can become eligible for that. And I have several videos on that, but I just want you to show. I want to show you the numbers, and I'm going to show you the vault account. These are the numbers right here. 2% of that per day. 2% of that And this was a small investment. So the total invested right here, this is the total invested, $4,000. So with compound interest, I've compounded over almost $9,000. Almost $9,000 I've compounded in a matter of 3 months. 3 months. So imagine a year of compounding and what that looks like. And imagine that percentage being paid out, especially if I'm in the 2% range. It's something to really think about, and I just wanted to show that to you. So as you can see, ARK is paying well. It's paying well. They're giving away a lot of ARK. You can be one of them persons. You can be one of these individuals that is earning an ARK, paying 2% a day. Most people, I would say majority of people, do not earn that in a year at their bank, in their savings. Majority of people do not earn that. You have the availability to earn that. So take advantage of it. Get involved in ARK. If you have questions, you can always hit me up in a Telegram and ARK Cave. Link is down in the description if you want to come check that out. We're always in there. But yeah, ARK is the place to be, in my opinion. Now, you can do your own research. You can come up to your own conclusion. But from my knowledge and from where I stand, it's the one. It's the one. It is the one. But just another note, make sure you diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket so that you can set yourself up for success. Just in case something happens. It could happen. It could happen to any business. It can happen to any bank. It can happen to any investment. But if you're diversified, you're protected and you don't have to really worry about it. The good thing that I'm glad I know about diversifying. I'm glad I know about compound interest. I'm glad I know about passive income, because even though we've been in a bear market, I have been okay. Everybody else can't say that. Everybody can't say that. But if you do things the right way and you diversify well and you invest well and you invest in the right passive income streams, you'll be okay. But this is Donatello from the Cave, and I'll catch you on the next video.
Let's go.
Another banger from Donatello. Thank you, brother. Amazing. And yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. There is a lot of fear out on the streets, and we have to address it. We have to understand that this is not just an American problem. This is a global issue. It's happening everywhere because the dollar is the global reserve currency. And we understand that part of that game is the fractional banking system. And it has issues. We've been knowing this for years. It's just a matter of when, not if. So through that process, we have the opportunity. I like that you brought up, Donatello, the unbanked. There are 1.4 billion adults in the world who are unbanked. Most of them have mobile devices. And, they're looking for that access. The foundation is a high yield savings account, folks. It's liquid in, liquid out. If you have $250 worth of bond in there, you are qualified to get the Spark rewards, which could, as this grows, be a life-changing opportunity. Some young man or somebody in Thailand, right? That's cutting, open coconuts for the tourists, right? With a big machete. That's one of the examples we like to use, winning Spark and getting into that nitro mode could be really something life-changing for these folks and their communities and their friends and their families. And we've been saying it. We need a bigger boat. But it's funny how everything happens in the narratives and the shoes start to fall. And we've been focusing on trying to get to those third world countries and those communities which desperately need options and need DeFi in their lives. But seeing what's happening on the regulatory side and staking becoming a bad thing for American exchanges and the fines that have been imposed on them, it's forcing the American, consumer. It's forcing the people to learn about Web3, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, SafePal, smart contracts, trustless systems, and saying, "Hey, you were happy at 8-9% for your Bitcoin and your stables." Even your fiat, they would transfer it over from their Wells Fargo over to Coinbase, and understand that they wouldn't get even 1% at their local banks or the big national banks in America. They were winning, and there's millions of people that figured that part out, but now they're forced into DeFi. And when they see what we have here, the system, it's like Coach Brad likes to say, a no-brainer, right? So the opportunity is just getting, I think, better and better. And do not be surprised when the sonic boom happens here with the mobile application, and not just working with these third world countries and the favelas in Brazil and the ghettos all around the world, and even the smart money in those worlds that's understanding that they cannot trust a Argentinian bank or a Lebanese bank. Now we're having the Americans having more distrust, more fear, more worries. And inflation is everywhere you spend, my friends. So very exciting. I'm very pumped from that meeting today with Dubai, looking at vaults in Switzerland and also Dubai for those metals and being able to pair to that. And also understanding that our key to success is simplifying this very complex, beautiful system that we've all fallen in love with. But we need to understand who our end user is. We always have, but we had to start somewhere. We had to start with all of you amazing folks that are DeFi experts. Some of you call yourselves the degens, which is it's an interesting word, but I just think it's somebody who's gone out of the matrix and found ways to leverage their fiat into opportunity, amazing opportunities. And yes, a lot of risk. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. There is a ton of risk, but here at ARK, you're getting paid every single day, folks. And to you, it's normal. The grandmother's ROI DApp also gave you, some options of cashing out, but here it's been balanced in such a way where, you're doing your compound, you're growing for the future, but you're getting your money every single day. And that to the common man, to the common woman, to the average Joe and Jane, to the Uber driver, the truck driver, the farmer, makes a lot of sense. And that fast ROI is just like, okay, this is my risk capital. This is the timeline. We've got the amazing calculator that they could even project their financial plan. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We all know that. So very exciting. Thank you, Donatello. I love the way you're doing it, brother. Keep at it. Keep strong, man. You are definitely setting yourself apart from the herd, and you are creating a massive opportunity to be one of those OG educators here at ARK, but also your experience, your journey in crypto and DeFi is going to be very important for a lot of these people that are coming in new. And there's so many paid shills and talking heads. We know them. We're not going to name them, but these people that don't have any scruples or morals or ethics, they just get paid and they make something seem what it's not. And that's not the voice. That's not who we are. You are, my friend, who we are. The Crypto Badgers, Crypto Unlimited 22, Crypto Putter. I mean, this is us. These are real people who've been through it, and they're enjoying amazing success. Let's get this crypto, folks. Sorry to get a little off track there, Coach Brad.
Oh, yeah, let's get this crypto.
No, it's fantastic, Atlas. It's been a great podcast so far. Some great alpha, some great content. Always good to have Donatello with us, and yeah, just really, saying the right things and flying that ARK flag is just fantastic to see. So, but moving on, trying to keep in line with the new schedule. Mistletoad, are you ready for today's Wheel of the Toad?
Yes, sir. Give me a second.
Let's go.
All right. More giving. And what a fun thing to be able to do this, folks. And thank you for everyone that participates in the contest every single day, the sweep widget. And thank you again, Mistletoe. Every time I look at this, man, I'm so impressed. It just looks right. It feels right. It represents the beauty of that ARK that's going to be won here right now. So, sir, on the count of 3, 2, 1. All right. Nick Fox, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Congratulations, Nick Fox. You have won 50 BUSD worth of ARK.
Hey, Coach Brad, can you say that fast 5 times?
Nick Fox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's a tough one.
No, it is Nick Fox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think if I said that 2 times in a row, I think it would turn into a mumble.
Hey, the mumble rap is really popular now.
Oh,
shout out to the mumble rappers. Can't understand what they're saying, but it sounds good.
Yep,
it's melodic.
Yeah, it takes me back to my my drum and bass days, the mumble rap, with Skibbity. I mean, you couldn't understand what he said, but it sounded good.
Then maybe that's where it originated from.
The trick is to make it rhyme. Doesn't matter what you're saying, as long as it rhymes, people won't notice. They just think, oh, look at that Spark reward. Oh my days, that's got to be close to $2,200. Oh,
right on the edge. Sheesh.
That's I don't even know what I was saying. That stopped me in my tracks when I saw that.
So it is that time. We've got the second cold storage. Let's get in the mood, man. It's a wonderful day here where we're enjoying, and it's great to see the top brass here on the podcast with us, calm, cool, and collected. A Donatello banger, speaking from the heart and pointing out what everybody else is actually thinking. And it is a beautiful thing to hear and see, done with integrity. I also appreciate, hey, diversify. Things can go wrong, and that's the truth. I mean, I was looking yesterday. There was 26 banks that failed just last year. We're getting it in the news now because some big boys are involved, and primarily smaller regional local banks have gone out of business. And so far this year, there's been 15. So there's been an uptick, we can call it that. So a lot of these credit unions, a lot of these little banks, and a lot of the big ones. So very, very interesting. And just know we're working very hard for you guys to create those long-term sustainable solutions where the beauty of crypto is you can be your own bank. And it's a shame to see, Satoshi gave us the keys to the freedom. And it is just a darn shame that so many folks didn't shift over yet. But the worse it gets, the more the need is there. And unfortunately, sometimes folks don't open their eyes until it's almost too late. But we believe that having everything here, as we like to call it, the 4-star service and the empathy and wanting to take the time, and not just one Coach Brad, but we got 2 Coach Brads. We got Mistletoe here representing. He's wearing the white gloves. He's ready to sit down and help someone go all the way from their bank into ARK and learn MetaMask and learn Web3. And if it takes 4 hours, hey, that's what we're here to do. We want to have 10 Coach Brad and Mistletoes on board. And we're hiring. So we're paying attention. We're looking at the chat. We're seeing who's involved, who really knows these contracts and how they function, and all the opportunity here like the back of their hand, and is able to convey that in simple messaging, taking a page out of SK Crypto K's book, man. And he breaks stuff down. Nobody has been able to do these complex systems better than our great friend and leader here, Mr. SK Crypto K.
Nobody
Oh God.
does it better.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man, you've inspired a generation here, man, a community. Setting them free, man. That's a responsibility. Once you have that knowledge, is to share it with somebody else. And if you have power, empower others. And you do it in such style and class and entertaining as well. So with that, folks, let's boogie down as we are getting ready to leash the beast. It's not an all-time high, but boy, is it massive. And it's becoming now, I think, a trend here. Over $2,000 worth of ARK getting deposited into the lucky winner's account. So let's go find who the next lucky winner is.
Let's get this crypto. Oh, it's impossible for me not to fall in love with you, baby. Yeah, well, it's got to be tonight, baby. Be tonight. It's got to be tonight. Yo, let's do it, baby girl. I got it tonight, y'all. Tell you want me. Tell me that you need me. Tell me that you love me tonight. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you need me. Tell me that you love me tonight. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you need me. Tell me that you love me tonight. No! Tell me that you want me. Tell me Go ahead, baby. Tell me that you love me tonight.
Give me another minute, folks.
Nobody.
Thanks for your patience. And tonight's lucky winner, their wallet ends in FF6B, and they've won 387.94 ARK. Congratulations. Sheesh, that's a big one. Oof. Is that a first-time winner?
Just checking now, sir.
Thank you.
I believe that is the first-time winner.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
First time winner.
let's go. We love the first-time winners here. Boy, does it make a difference. Straight into nitro mode. Boy, sailing. Just smashing through those waves. And they're going to see that little bell here on the D app. It's going to be dancing. It's going to have that red little notice, and they're going to come in. They're going to see their wallet in this whole line instead of blue in green. I mean, it's hard not to miss. We know a lot of folks are on allocation, and they're having a more passive experience. But when they do come in, oh boy, they're going to say, "What is going on? How am I winning so much?" Beautiful thing. And then we have the DeFi sessions with Mr. Z. Boy, what a day for the corn. What a day for crypto. The folks have spoken. How are you doing tonight, sir?
How's it going, Atlas?
Fantastic, brother. Happy to be here.
Another day
Have
at
a wonderful
the ARK.
day.
Beautiful day at the
Yes.
ARK, man. We're printing. We're printing. Banks are collapsing. Money's being falsely printed in the Federal Reserves. And here we are having a good discussion and having great folks like Biasy Dips, Crypto Zoo, SK Crypto joining us. So let's get on with the news. Let's check it out. Brad, could you tell me if you can see my screen?
We can see it.
Awesome.
I
awesome.
think I was off mute and I muted myself to speak, so that was pretty stupid. Sorry.
No worries.
Hey, if you could zoom out for us, Z, this that looks like zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
We can zoom out a little bit. So today we had a few cool factors that happened. Bitcoin hit $26,000 with the CPI index news coming out. So for people that want to know about these factors, what happens is when you have a CPI, whenever CPI shows a core price index, it's basically measuring the you can say the spending power of the United States of America. And when we say spending power of America, we talk about the Western world. So today's data, especially after the week we've had a week where we've seen 3 banks come near to collapse. We talk about bailout, and we talk about a repeat of 2008. I think that's the sort of word on the streets that we are looking to bail out these banks, and most probably it will be bailed out. So unfortunately, yes. And the reason we see these sorts of bailouts happen is because because it will have a knock-on effect. If you don't bail out Silicon Valley Bank, then those creditors will be absorbed by Bank of America, and then Bank of America would be absorbed by the bigger ones. So it has a knock-on effect, and usually when these things happen and when they're supposed to fail, as they should, because they've made bad decisions, bad investing decisions, we see that happen. So the whole week was covered in bad news. And everyone was sort of talking about the repeat. So for us to get the news that CPI is actually up.
And Z, real quick, if I may, who pays for that bailout? Where does it come from? In the end, who pays?
According to Biden, it's the government's budget, but Biden and folks don't tell that the taxpayer is the real person that pays for the uprising and the downfall. So the bailout does come from taxpayers' money. And yeah.
Because the more bailout you need, the more you got to print, the more steamy checks, the more you got to print. That invisible tax. I mean, these folks do some magic. They don't even have to take the money out of your bank account. They just devalue it right in your face. You go, buy a tomato, and you're like, what? What does this cost? Sheesh. Oh, thank you, folks. Thank you for that other, more bailouts, more printing. Sheesh.
Yeah. So one of my favorite economists said, if the Federal Reserve had Bitcoin in their power, Bitcoin would be at you could say a total supply of 100 million right now, because it's taken 4 bailouts since Bitcoin's been out to basically keep the economy going. And so people were a bit joyous. We saw Bitcoin hit 26K. And as usual, people bought the tops, and whenever you buy the top, this is what happens. So before we get to this sort of sell-off, let's go through this article, because this is an MSNBC article.
Man, it looks like James at the water cooler that we're going to the moon, 200K overnight. He bought the front top there. Sheesh.
Yeah, this whole top here, if we sort of just covered this bit here. So this is all retail. This is retail buying, thinking we're hitting 30K Bitcoin. People have had the obsession to hit 30K Bitcoin for the past 2 months now. And they thought this was the opportunity, and that's where markets go sideways, and then we sell off and take profits, because that's what short term.
What do we always say? Ladies and gentlemen, pay yourselves. Always pay yourselves. You got profit on the table, pay yourselves. You don't buy tops, you buy bottoms. When everybody else is freaking out, oh my God, it's so bad. Oh. What do? We don't cry. We buy. And when everybody else is dancing on top of the tables, they got their moon boots on and the helmets ready to, go to the moon. What do we do, Mr. Z? We pay ourselves, right?
Pay ourselves, man. We pay ourselves. So if you were to basically buy Bitcoin here at 24K, as people do, you buy it here, especially when the FUD is high, when Silicon Valley Bank is collapsing, when things are things, and you get things at discount. You buy a dip then. And then when the news and stuff comes out and we go up to 26K, that's when you take some profits, pay yourself, and then find good divergent patterns in crypto. And maybe ARK is a good place where you store some of your wealth and have that print for you in the right way. So, yes, sir.
You're talking about investing like a market maker. Wow, isn't that brilliant? That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They're very relaxed in all their moves. So this is the article that came out from MSNBC. The title reads, "Crypto rises for a second day after U.S. inflation data comes in as expected. Bitcoin briefly tops 26K." So after this, they sort of took the inquiry of what is really pushing Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin up 22% since Friday? Like, what is it that sort? What are the factors that sort of channels in the rise of Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and other things? So this is what Joe Kruger had to say. He said there are two factors driving Bitcoin's outperformance right now. The first is the repricing of the Fed expectation. With this repricing inviting a more investor-friendly market environment. The second could be even more significant, is the recent stress around vulnerabilities in the U.S. banking system. So, as he sort of tweeted this out, Joe Kruger, this got the most shares on Twitter for the day. These are the things the news aren't talking about. Because, core price index has been showing that, we have been falling in sort of, you can say, jobs expectations. People, we only have 3% unemployment rate right now, and people have some spending power. People are buying some good, healthy fruits and vegetables for their housings. People are able to experiment and basically trade and buy into cryptocurrencies and other sort of fintech assets and see growth. So so that's the news today after a week of sort of Silicon Valley Bank and things. We're seeing that the economy is actually doing well, and so that's the news. And we were briefly at 26K. And I think like these are moments where I think the crowd needs to understand how Bitcoin and crypto prices around these kind of things, right? So I've put up another article. These are all articles you can find in the DeFi links if you guys check it out. So the article reads, "What determines the price of Bitcoin?" So in brief, Bitcoin's price are driven by same principles of supply and demand that govern the cost of goods and services, exchange rates. Price discovery is now determined primarily on centralized crypto exchanges. Really, really true. Big sort of numbers are basically made on these exchanges that basically people look for a hedge. So put simply, many who purchase and use BTC view it as a fiat currency and payment system alternative. With its limited supply and decentralized nature, some purchase it as an inflation hedge, store value, or as an investment. Others have lost confidence in their banking system or national currency, prefer an asset that is difficult to confiscate and does not need to be trusted. Doesn't need a trusted third party to make transactions. So these are sort of factors that whilst we are failing as an economy, whilst we are printing as many dollars as we are, that the folks, the sort of mass, see Bitcoin at 21 million sort of supply, and they see it as a hedge against thing, and that's what crypto is kind of performing. So if you see here, like Bitcoin hit 26K. Ethereum briefly touched 1780, and BNB did touch its 330 previous hold. So we'll determine for the next like sort of 3-4 days if this is the new sort of range on these three top tokens. So it's looking fully bullish. It's looking bullish, and but as I said, guys, never buy tops. Understand technicals and see the bigger picture. So the next thing I want to talk about is Euler Finance, because for some reason Cointelegraph is having internal servers. I don't think society likes the truth to be told. But yeah, so Euler Finance basically, I'll briefly tell you whilst we look at the chart here. So Euler Finance, as we know, was one of the banks that, one of the sort of borrowing and lending protocols that saw a $200 million heist take place on one of its coding vulnerabilities of deposits. I think repository deposits was the function. And we saw 200 million get nabbed. So since then, they've been able to stop the hacker. And they've been, if I can get the article to come up, they've been getting a bunch of, like, you can say, cybersecurity agencies. They've basically spotted the 3 wallets where the funds are lying, and they've let the federal government know about it. So they're doing everything in their power to see see their $200 million come back. But in the meantime, they're remaining positive and bullish that they should be able to do things. This article, I wish I can bring it up because it tells you about how these, you can say, auditing firms work. Because the reason you pay such a big amount to audit a smart contract is to find these kind of vulnerabilities. So Euler Finance was one of them protocols that was highly audited. So we'll hear about. So in our article, once it's back, you guys can sort of look into it. But their auditing firm makes a few comments on that. So that was pretty interesting. So let's see if we get Euler. We get this article up in a sec. But then the other thing that we have to keep in mind is layoffs are happening. We've seen layoffs happen at Tesla. We've seen layoffs happen in Google, and now we're seeing it really happen in Facebook, Meta, and these are sort of changing the sort of direction of a few different things. If you guys remember, when Meta when Facebook changed its name to Meta, we saw tokens like metaverse tokens like Sandbox, Decentraland do a 30-40x. And since then, we've seen the objectives of metaverse kind of change. So this article kind of confirms that. So yeah, the Meta cuts 10,000 more workers after scrapping NFT plans. Is the metaverse still on? So this is the question people have. So after we've seen 10,000 jobs get cut, we saw a 5,000 get cut in November, I believe. So the Meta will shed another 10,000 further employees in the month ahead across multiple waves, as well as close about 5,000 current listings. So yeah, we currently see 5,000 current listings on all these job websites like Indeed and Monster. And they will all be coming down this week. This move will affect its recruiting department this week, its tech group in April, and business groups in May. So it starts from the bottom, and you get rid of, like, you can say, the less risk, the more riskier sort of projects that Meta have, and then you sort of work your way up the pyramid. So Meta previously laid off about 11,000 employees in November, representing about 13% of its workforce at the time. And yeah, like I didn't like this one thing I didn't realize was Meta had a head count of 86,000. That's crazy, guys. For a company like Meta, to have 80,000 people, you can see why things slow down, why things take time. When election rigging takes place, or when fake news gets out, why does it take such a long time for things to be taken into consideration? So Meta reported having a headcount of 86,000, a 20% jump from the year prior, but said the tally still included most of the people included in November's layoff. So Zuckerberg calls this the year of efficiency. He feels that the current sort of hierarchy of employees and levels of management is hindering Facebook's or we can say Meta's ambitions and projects in some way or form. It's hindering growth. So canceling lower priority projects is the first step of it, and they did have to say something about where their focus is. So Meta reaffirmed its focus on building the metaverse late last year, but it has increasingly pivoted its message towards the renewed fervor around AI, thanks to the success of rivals of OpenAI. So we've seen Microsoft benefit quite a bit from its investments in sort of OpenAI, the company that released ChatGPT, and Zuckerberg and team had something similar to say. So he wrote here, "Our single largest investment is in advanced AI and building it into every one of our products. Our leading work building the metaverse and shaping the next generation of computing platform also remains central to defining the future of social connections." So he reiterates the moments of AI growth, of things being automated when it comes to assignments, when it comes to posting, when it comes to all our sort of like medial you can say rotas of doing things in a data driven way. So AI is their main focus, and he reiterates the metaverse. So we'll see how the metaverse changes as we get through this year. Up till now, his views has been that the metaverse is slowed down because of technological inefficiencies. So to run something like the metaverse, like the one he sort of predicted, needs high level of you can say hardware appliances, not just one VR goggle. It will need some sort of layers of nodes. And then it needs, you can say, a bunch of investment when it comes to bandwidth. So right now, people around the world are increasing their bandwidth, but something like a metaverse will need something like, I think, a 1 GB sort of connections of broadband to basically get through that fiber optic and really see a real metaverse. So that's why we see a slowdown of the metaverse.
Well, I mean, they also lost $13.7 billion last year on their bet with the Reality Labs. So it's almost like they're having to chase their tail now to catch up with AI because they went in their own different direction, and it has not paid off that bet. That's quite a lot of money. I mean, what we're looking at here, what is it, $10 billion that IBM put into the Chat AI company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make smart decisions. Never push the envelope. If you have a budget of like Meta have of about $30 to $40 billion, that you have to make sure that the bets you make are viable and diverse, and you're not going in. So they went quite hard in the VR sort of notion and just buying out companies left, right, center to like create this ultimate headset. And thus far, because of the bandwidth that we currently have in sort of broadband and internet connections, ISP, they're kind of, they're trying to do something that's ahead of time. So Facebook Meta is facing the burden there, and it's having an effect on things like Sandbox and Decentraland and Mana, unfortunately, because people run on the trend. So that's one big thing that Meta sort of are going through, a layoff and a change of investment vehicle. So that's Meta there. Now the last thing I want to touch is stable coins. Because stable coins, as we see, USDC, I think is US. Does anyone know, is USD back to $1? The last we checked, it was at 99 cents. So I think I was on the call with Bizy Lips, and we were talking about arbitrage. So this article talks about that a little bit. So yeah, USDC is still at 99.5 cents. Okay, so we're still recovering from things. So this article here reads, here are the stable coins that thrived as USDC wobbled. So basically, briefly, what happened was when USDC, what's happening in the back end of USDC is people when people sort of take out $3 to $4 billion out of a swap when it comes to USDC, they put it into other alternatives. So we've seen Tether grow quite a bit. Tether's been seeing a bunch of investments since a few different things. We've seen the Silvergate Silicon Valley banks sort of collapse. So we moved away from USDC, moved it into USDT here. And so USDT gained a market cap of 71.9 billion on Friday. That's a new record. By Monday night, that figure had grown to nearly 75 billion, right? So we've seen a rise of almost 2% here. DAI saw a rise as well. So DAI supply is maintained and regulated by Maker, which is one of the decentralized finance long-standing. So yeah, so these things. So DAI has nothing to do with exposure to banks or centralized things. That's pretty cool.
But DAI has exposure to USDC, so that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
They had an exposure, but they didn't but it was only, you can say, 6 to 7% of their sort of volume, and okay. But I think, yeah. So when we look at like the exposure USDC has with Silvergate, for example, USDC has a bunch of centralized exposure, not just to Silvergate, but to a few different banks in America, and I think most of its hedge is treasury bonds as well. So yeah, in the meantime, people move their money into DAI. And
it reminds me of what Brett said tonight with his update about from one frying pan to the other frying pan, because we've been reviewing here at the DeFi sessions USDT, their latest audit as well, and they're only a couple billion short, which is amazing because we thought they were completely insolvent, or at least 70% insolvent, which is the other elephant in the room. There isn't proof of reserves that anyone can really, go to sleep at night and have a good night's sleep when it comes to Tether. And this is, back to that comment. It makes a lot of sense. I think you described it really well. Continue, please.
Yeah. So we saw other, you can say, stable coins like I've never heard of these guys before, but True USD. I saw a rise. So the first regulated stablecoin fully backed by the US dollar. So it's a True USD with a stablecoin that saw increases in its market cap, and Liquidity USD. These are things that I want to kind of research into. So if you know how DAI works, then you already know how Liquidity works. It operates under many of the same mechanics like over collateralized loans using native cryptocurrency. So but with the added carrot of interest-free loans. So I want to kind of research these two and get back to you guys a little bit more to see what makes these two.
It's pretty cool. They're having they're working with Chainlink, and they're having pretty much to the instant, to the second verifiable proof. which is a great upgrade. I mean, talk about what the doctor ordered, having your real time. So very interesting. And I think they might have, because of that, some interest from investors. But you know how we do it here. We just don't go on that. You got to look at their banking relationships and also their regulation. And on top of that, understanding what a lot of the regulation that's coming against stable coins is also, warning shots fired and some issues are definitely there. It's no secret what's happening. So we'll look into it and understand that.
Absolutely. That sort of concludes my DeFi sessions. I hope I was under the 15 minutes and we get to that 1 hour mark of podcast. Thank you guys.
Coach Brad, how do we do today? And we started a little bit later, the recording, not right on the dot.
We ran over, but we had some important updates from you and Brett, and then we had a great all aboard segment, and then Z was 25 minutes in the DeFi sessions, but it was all very relevant, very important information. So we're at 1 hour. Go ahead.
How much?
1 hour, 26 minutes.
Let's go.
Well, we were hanging on every word. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's
all
good
right.
stuff. Great podcast tonight.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And we want to thank everyone that came out for the podcast. And we also want to thank the folks that are listening at a later time to the recording. We appreciate your participation, and we hope that you also found it educational and entertaining. We are gearing to have our great friend Brandon and the good Anthony Fauci talk about the health and what they're doing. They've got a startup that's really interesting, and we're here to support our friends and any endeavor that they're doing. We know that good people of integrity are always looking for opportunity and creating great things. So we can't wait to hear all about it tomorrow. That's going to be after tomorrow's podcast. We are also going to be shifting the time, folks, of the podcast to as of right now, we haven't made a final decision. We'll let you know tomorrow, but I think we're going to be going to 7 p.m. UTC and 3 p.m. EST. It's going to be a little complicated this month with the daylight savings time, but we're going to let you folks know about it, and we'll talk about it a bit more tomorrow as to what are the advantages, pros and cons that we see to that. But we're going to be doing that pretty soon. We'll keep you updated, and with that, we want to thank everyone for coming this evening to the podcast. And we will see you tomorrow at the same time, 11 p.m. UTC, and that's going to be 7 p.m. EST. And after that, we'll have Brandon and Anthony here with us, folks. Thank you very much. We're going to hang out here for the Q&A. Have a great night.
I just want to say thanks, Anthony, or excuse me, thanks.